Hi, I'm Taya Del Rio.
And I'm Kaylee Wendroth, and welcome to Proud of Parkland.
Every year, Parkland has a 3-day arts festival in which people in the visual and performing arts can showcase their talents. This festival runs from Thursday through Saturday with events such as the Art Gallery, Parkland's Got Talent, and the festival itself.
Festival of the Arts, also called FOTA, has many exciting things for people of all ages. Students dress as characters such as Cinderella in her prints, as well as statues. People who come can buy food and also enjoy many of the talented performers. Here's more.
Right around the time I first took this job on, which was around 15 years ago, I felt that there was a need to really embrace the community, that we're a school district without a downtown. So Allentown has a downtown, and Quakertown has a downtown, and Coopersburg has a downtown. All these little towns have downtowns. We don't. We have 75 square miles and no place to gather except maybe at the football games. So I thought, wouldn't it be a great idea if one weekend a year we could gather up here at the high school and do it by demonstrating all the different art, music, theater, dance, everything we had going for us in the district. And the idea was started around 14, I think it was our 14th year, and it has just grown ever since.
And then Saturday morning, the huge festival happens. There are different concerts going on, there's bands performing, choruses performing, there's a princess parade around 2 o'clock, there's tea with princesses, there's all this food you can buy and crafts to make. Again, it's a huge celebration of the arts.
FOTA is like a celebration of arts from all different kinds of aspects and all different facets of it. You have visual arts and you have performing arts, but I'm in the music side of it.
I performed with jazz band from 6th to 9th grade. 9th grade I did indoor percussion, and I've helped with the instrument petting zoo for all of high school.
I've done the instrument petting zoo where I teach smaller kids. I teach them about the double bass. And I've played in chamber groups, so just entertaining people with music.
I've been doing a lot with theater. I was a statue in my freshman year, and I was a princess last year.
Mostly I've been involved with the princesses and characters, and I've had the opportunity to play some princess roles the last 2 years, and this year I'm running all of that, so like making sure that everyone's auditioned and gets different roles as characters, so that there's the parade and they walk around and talk to kids and all of that, and it really adds a cool element to the festival.
Having the Festival of the Arts is a really big honor for anybody in any of the arts, because it's one day that like everyone can appreciate what you do, whether it's music or theater or painting or drawing or photography or jewelry. Like everyone has a chance to show what they can do, and that makes everyone feel that like, yes, the arts are seen in school.
It's Saturday, it's 10 to 4, and we open up with the high school band, and there's music all day long, and we have cartoon characters wandering around, and we have statues, and we have dancing, so it's a fun day. So hope you all come out.
It's a great feeling because kind of being in the theater department, you tend to only see other actors and their work. And so coming to the festival and being able to see all different kinds of art and seeing my peers excel at what they do, it's really amazing because it shows how many opportunities there are for people and how the arts has impacted so many lives. I think it has to be the most memorable experience of my high school career because you go and it's just, you're surrounded by all these other artists, and you don't get many opportunities like that. And the people that come to the festival are the ones that really appreciate the arts and want to see them learn and grow, all these young artists. And it's amazing to be around so many great people who want the same exact thing as you do. So it's really memorable because it's an overall amazing experience seeing all these different art forms and all these people who love what they're doing.
The visual arts of Parkland are involved in FOTA by, we have an art show on Thursday night that follows through on Friday and Saturday all day while other FOTA events are going on. To have your work in the art show is like an honor for just to be chosen to be in the art show, and it makes somebody feel like their hard work has been appreciated.
Well, what we do is we try to exhibit every student we can and try to get a lot of variety, and of course it's a caliber of work that's at a pretty high level. So we try to represent everyone.
It's such a big deal for you to have your art in the art show because it's a chance to show people what you work on, because not a lot of people believe that art is a job and that you can actually do things with art, but it's to show people that like you can do things with art. Even like for the computer arts, like they make a movie poster and stuff, and that stuff is in FOTA too.
Well, I think it's a great thing to be selected. I mean, we select the top-notch best things, so I think it's a very prestigious kind of thing to have your work selected and hung for the show.
Having the Festival of the Arts is a really big honor for anybody in any of the arts, because it's one day that like everyone can appreciate what you do, whether it's music or theater or painting or drawing or photography or jewelry. Like everyone has a chance to show what they can do, and that makes everyone feel that like, yes, the arts are seen in school. Art has played a role in my life by making me who I am. Like it's given me a chance to go out of the box, out of what people wanted me to do, and find something that I love to do.
When I complete a piece of jewelry, usually, I don't know, it just makes me feel better. I think it sets off my week in a good mood because like I finally finished it. I know I did something right for it to end up this way, and I don't know, I guess it's just like that's nice to know that I made that, because I mean it's clean, it's pretty, you know, it's done. It's a finished piece that most people would go and buy and not know where it came from, but knowing that I made it and knowing where it came from is just satisfying. It's exciting to have people come around and be like, oh, that's cool, even if it's not yours, because I know people have worked very hard on it and it's taken a lot of time, and they were probably like, oh, that's nice that they'd say something about my piece, or, you know. So it's cool to see them kind of walk around and be like, oh, that's cool, oh, this is cool, and sometimes it's mine, and then I'm like, oh, yay, that's mine, just, you know, pointing that out. But I try to be humble, but I mean, it's exciting, I don't know. And then you just see the people that do appreciate it, and then it's just a big community of usually smiles, so that's nice.
My kind of art, I like the viewers to trust what I'm doing. Like when they see something, they're like, that looks like it would happen in life. Like that it's representational, like it's accurate. So that's my goal. I enjoy converting things from life into just two-dimensional with just color and values and all that good stuff that you see. I received 2 national silvers for my piece Static. The one with the hair, a lot of little strands of hair in it, and the Thomas Eakins piece. It's a self-portrait inspired by another artist's work. And I just changed the composition to fit something that related to me.
I would draw when I was young. I used to draw like football players, stickmen, skateboarders. I didn't really start like heavily thinking about, wow, I gotta start doing this more often so I can get better with my drawing. Definitely since high school. Like high school was definitely a realization because you needed especially junior year, I needed the portfolio so I can get into college. But when I won the billboard, when I actually went out to go see it, it was just like, that's my drawing, and it's like 10 of my body is sideways, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's almost unbelievable that it's just right there in front of people. Things like that, things like winning these things are like, that makes you want to do another one so you can win something different.
At the high school, many students are glad to be part of the Palace Club. In the club, students are able to work with and create relationships with people who have mental and physical disabilities.
you get to build relationships with every one of them, and each relationship is special, and just walking in every day and seeing them put a big smile on their face just to see you is something special.
Whether you're a typical high school student or you're a student who has special needs in a special education classroom, and what is the common denominator is everybody wants friends. Everybody wants that typical high school experience or typical, you know, student-to-student experience. And so that's kind of what my vision for PALS was to provide some of those experiences.
Well, I started in PALS freshman year, and I started like a lot of people. I went to the club fair, walked around. My friend was actually working the club fair, so she enlisted me to join. And I realized that the kids that we're hanging out with and stuff, they don't judge you like regular ed kids do. They look at you as a whole person, as who you are, and then they just love you for whatever you have. Because I mean, some of these kids I've become real tight with most of these kids, and it's just pretty great.
Everyone's just so happy all the time. Like, you could just be outside and everyone be in like a bad mood. There's so much drama out in the actual like hallways with everyone else. But once you come in here, it's drama-free. Everyone's so happy all the time.
Walking down the hallway, I'm surrounded by all of my fellow classmates within the high school. And in the end, we're all people just finding out where we belong. We're finding our niche in society, who our friend groups are, what we want to do in our life, and what activities that we enjoy. And in the end, we're all just people. And some people have found that home within the PALS classroom.
It's really rewarding coming in here because these kids, they show you that they're happy for you to be here. They're really sweet when you walk in. I don't walk into math class and get a huge welcome, you know. I just get slapped with a bunch of homework on my desk. But when I come in here, kids give you hugs, they yell your name, they ask you how your weekend was, all that. And they're really sweet kids, and it's a really rewarding experience.
You don't need to name them anything different. Like, you just call them by their normal names. Like, they don't have any like different labels than anyone else do, and I think people would classify them as like something different, but like they're the same as anyone else, so there's no reason to have to name them anything else.
We joined together. I was so excited, so happy.
Recently, our high school welcomed senior citizens for tea. They shared many stories and students had a great time getting to know them. Here's more.
Just study your lessons. Don't run around. Behave. Listen to your parents. If they want to correct you, take advice.
Well, I say study hard. Life is not easy. Studying's not easy. But to succeed, you have to work at it.
Whatever you would like to be and do, go ahead and do it. Then you will be happy because you're doing what you want to do.
Sometimes you get upset and disappointed, but that's life.
Never mind the money what comes in. If it comes in, fine. If it doesn't come in, at least you're enjoying what you're doing. And that's much more important.
We're not all alike. We all don't have the same thoughts and energy. But, you know, you have to try to respect them. You don't like everybody. It's not possible to like everybody, but you try to tolerate them, you know. I'm old, and I was disappointed many times, but all the happiness that I had made up for it, so that's the only advice I could give you.
My dream all my life was to drive in a race car. And they gave me that. The funniest part and the thing I liked was when the guy had to help me in that car. Because you can't open the door.
You have to climb through the window.
You have to climb there, and he put me in. And then the funny part was to get me out. Because they have you anchored so tight, you can't wobble, you know. So he was trying. So he said, I don't know any. I says, well, that's why you have tow trucks here. Get one. I had fun. Yeah. I didn't want to get scared, so I just kept talking.
Oh, 17 years old. I was in the middle of the World War II. Yeah, in Berlin, Germany.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, under Hitler.
Yeah.
That too. And the bombs. So with 17, well, then I volunteered to work on a farm. I didn't want to help Hitler any way form. So, and the farm was the only place where you could go and volunteer for, because they always need people working. And half of my family are farmers since the 1600s, so it's in my blood. And I enjoyed it.
Well, I was 18 I was an orphan when I was only 5. I was raised by an aunt and uncle. My aunt was a wonderful lady. She died when she was 38, and I was only 17. And they had children, and I had to help them. I had to help raise them. So I don't know what advice I can give you, except that I worked hard. I don't regret anything I've done.
But we didn't have that many guys around either. The guys in our year gang, I was born in 1926, they were all drafted. And most of them did come home. Yeah. So, no war for me. Anyway, but I made it. I'm here.
And you're here.
Now I'm glad when I can get out a little bit.
Yes. Ninth and 10th grade students recently had the opportunity to listen to Clifton Crosby, a former NFL player and Super Bowl champion.
Unfortunately, he struggled in childhood with a drug-addicted mother. He shared his amazing story with us, and we are glad that he came. Here are some of the sights and sounds.
The 4 messages that I want students to take away from, one was, being where you're supposed to be and helping them understand why that's so important and why, the adults and their parents need to be able to trust them, why that's so important. The second one was setting goals. I had goals when I was young and I didn't always act on them, or I didn't always do the things I needed to do. I just said them because they sounded good. And then the third thing would be asking for help. At some point there's gonna come a time where you need help, and you don't know it all. You don't have all the answers. As much as young people want to believe they got all the answers, you need help sometime. And then getting involved. I mean, where would I be without sports? Where would I be without the different clubs I was in, the different groups I was in? So for me, getting involved is real. Like, I know a lot of students that aren't involved in things and they just kind of fall by the wayside and people forget about them, or they get caught in things that they probably shouldn't have been involved in. So getting involved in activities and sports is very important. when I first started telling this story, I didn't think it would be as good or be as useful to the students, but the more I did it and the feedback I got from the students and the reaction I get at every school, it just lets me know that the story is still relevant and that young people do need to hear a different type of message. And when I say different type, meaning I want to talk with you all and make you laugh and joke and not just talk down and say, don't do this, don't do that. Just share stories and hopefully that through those stories you all kind of learn something from it and take some things away from it.
I think that he had a message that he could send to our students. Many times the people that we have come in and speak are recovering from an addiction of some type, and Mr. Crosby showed us how you could overcome problems in your family. So it was a little different approach than we'd seen before.
I mean, it means a lot, you know what I'm saying? There's times when I don't speak as often, like I might go a month without speaking at a school. And I can honestly tell you when I don't speak, I feel a difference in myself. So when I do speak, it makes me feel good. You know, it makes me feel good knowing that I'm doing something to give back, to share, and it's possibly helping one student. And if I can help one student, you know, that makes me feel good.
When I was 13, I was raped. And the experience set me up for more abuse throughout my teens and later in my life. I'm still healing. That violence scarred me, but it also scarred those who love me. This is not a woman's issue. It's a human issue. Stopping violence against women means stopping violence, period. And we must start now.
Now we take a look at our brand new sports networking system.
This is proudly controlled by our students who are passionate about sports. They follow our teams and share their story throughout the season.
Let's learn more about why we created this segment from two of our proudest reporters.
PNN Sports was created here at Parkland, and it was made so that we could cover our tremendous sports teams here at Parkland. We get to watch them put their heart and soul into every single game they play, and we get to commentate over them, we get to make packages, we get to cover them, make scores, and it's just really fun.
The reason I joined PNN Sports is because I love film and TV, and I definitely love sports, so it's like a match made in heaven for me. I definitely get to see the atmosphere and get to connect with my classmates on a human level when they play on the field and in the bench or on the dugout, but it's definitely a great experience.
I joined PNN Sports because sports has always been a passion of mine since I was a young child, and now that in high school I get to cover the sports teams, and it's just, I love it because it's something I've always wanted to do since I was young. I've always pretended to commentate over sports games in my, when I play video games, and just commentate sports in general when I watch it. And it just, I'm glad that this was created because it gives me a great opportunity to do something I love.
The reason I love sports is the atmosphere or the playing field or really anything about sports. It's like a feeling like no other. Like the fresh cut grass on a baseball field or the fans when you walk into a football field, high school, college, or professional level, any real level on where you play sports, it's always a great atmosphere, and that's why I love sports.
I love sports because it just, everything about it just makes me happy. The fans, just the atmosphere of the games. When I went to a playoff game when the 76ers were actually good, the atmosphere was incredible, and everything about it was just really fun. And then just football, just watching how excited everyone gets when there's a touchdown or big play. Just all that stuff just makes sports as fun as it can get for myself.
The perks of joining PNN Sports is getting to know my classmates when they play sports and how good they can become and how good they are at what they're passionate about. Like definitely getting to go mid-state when Parkland football took on the state championship last year, or when our baseball team went to Coca-Cola Park, one of the best minor league baseball stadiums in the U.S. So that was definitely a great experience. I got to see them play Nazareth. That was a really good game and definitely a really good perk.
Last week, FCA held their 11th annual dodgeball tournament in the main gym. There was plenty of sportsmanship and a lot of fun. Here are some of the sights and sounds of dodgeball.
Dodgeball is played with 6 players on each team and 6 rubber balls. The object of the game is to eliminate the opposing players. Once all the players on one team are eliminated, the opposing team wins.
Wow! I can't wait to get the fellas together and play.
If you catch a ball that's thrown at you before it hits the ground, then the player who threw that ball is out, not you. Plus, another player from your team gets to come back into the game. It's a 2-player swing.
Gee, thanks, Patches. I can't wait to start my own team at school.
Atta boy, Tiger. Just remember the 5 D's of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Dirty Dad's number 1.
I should have known you'd bid me farewell. There's a lesson to be learned from this, and I've learned it very well. Now I know you're not the only starfish in the sea. If I never hear your name again, it's all the same to me. And I think it's gonna be alright. Yeah, the worst is over now. The morning sun is shining like a red rubber ball. If I never hear your name again, it's all the same to me. And I think it's gonna...
That's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. Yeah, because you can't get rid of that. That voice in your head saying, I messed up this bad. It doesn't go away. I cheated. It was one day in English class. We were taking a literature exam, and I had turned in my Scantron, and my question sheet happened to be on my desk, and I didn't turn that in by accident. And a friend of mine at the time turned to me and said, hey, we should take a picture of that and give it to our friend. I was kicked out of every honor society I had ever worked for, National Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society. If you were to look around, I'm sure you'd see
at least 50% of kids with wandering eyes. It's everywhere. I think it's almost become like common ground. If you're willing to risk it all for something like that, just ask yourself, is it worth it? And like 10 out of 10 times, it will not be worth it.
Engineering Club is a group of students that comes together a few times a week in order to build and compete with robots. In order to build our robots and buy all the parts that we need, we have to do some form of fundraising. Our club advisor, Mr. Yoakum, getting grants that he writes himself, or fundraising that we do have to purchase new parts, new motors, and we meet at Troxel. We have a room up there where we have enough space to have our course set up, as well as work in 3 separate teams. 4001E is our senior team, 4001A is the junior team, and 4001F is the sophomore team. We meet at Troxel at least 3 to 5 times a week, Monday through Friday, and Saturdays too, because we need extra time to complete these robots so that they are in a competition-ready state. Competitions that we go to are known as VEX competitions, and every year VEX essentially puts out a different competition. This year's competition was known as Nothing But Net. The goal of this year's competition was essentially to find a way to manipulate balls and then have some sort of launching mechanism which would shoot the balls like a game of basketball into nets, or into goals, I should say. And there was another aspect of the competition that was fairly difficult for many of the teams were not able to efficiently find a way to lift their teammates or themselves. We went to many competitions this year. Our first one was out in Pittsburgh, called the Sarah Hines House competition. The junior and senior teams won the competition. And then the next competition we went to was the Delaware County Christian School robotics competition. We showed that they were the better robot out of all 3 because they yet again won the competition and won the Excellence Award, which is the highest award given to any team at any VEX robotics competition. Team 4001F went to the Norristown High School competition and won the Amaze Award there. Third and final competition before going to States for teams 4001E and A was the Springford competition. Finally, teams 4001E and A went on to States to compete against a bunch of other teams from all over the state in hopes to move on to the Worlds competition in Louisville, Kentucky. At the end of the day, the E team had made it to the finals competition against probably one of the toughest competitors in the state of Pennsylvania, otherwise known as Haverford, and sadly they lost.
And I think it's insane that we're all lucky enough to be able to do a show like this.
I mean, it's fantastic. Colleges don't even attempt this, and it's just crazy that a high school is even trying to do this. I play Isidore Strauss, and this role has probably been the biggest thing that's happened to me at Parkland, I guess.
I play a man named Charles Clark, he's a second-class passenger running away with the love of his life to America to get married and run away from their families because they don't want them to get married. And being in the show was probably the most fun thing I've ever done in Parkland. Personally, I had a lot of fun learning the music, and but it was not easy. It was also very difficult to understand the blocking and being able to eventually take the singing and incorporate that along with the pit.
And another awful thing that we had to do was our costume changes, which ridiculous amount of costume changes. It feels pretty nice knowing that we get to play these characters and let them breathe life again, you could say. And it's nice that other people see their story because they were real people. They weren't Jack and Rose, they were the true people on the Titanic.
I honestly think it's really cool that people are really enjoying this show because we have 48 cast members, more people in the pit, more people in the stage crew. We have so many people involved with this, and everybody's giving their individual effort and just doing the best that they can. So it's really rewarding when we hear that people really enjoy the show. It does add on a little pressure for future shows. Can we do better than last night? And I think we've been doing that, and I think with every night comes a new level of energy, a new excitement that the cast brings, and a new layer that the cast brings to the table. And so it's really interesting to see where the show's going to go, and it's extremely exciting, and I'm extremely proud of where the cast has been.
Thanks for watching this edition of Pride of Parkland.
Here's Riley Longabock's coverage of the best of tonight's show with the music video.
She did an absolutely fantastic job editing this.
I know, it was absolutely incredible. You'll love it. Thanks again, and have a great night, Parkland.
Yeah.